Hello learners, welcome to NIOS. My name is Vinita Dhawan. Today we will study about planning and organization of work education in school with reference to time, place and grouping of student. First of all, we should know what is work education. In the previous chapters, you have already studied about what is work education, but with a little brief introduction, what is work education, I will tell you. It is a purposive and meaningful manual work result in the good and service useful to the society. It develops the essential life skills are developed, essential life skills are developed in the work education. Activities based on the natural, physical and human resources and social and economic background of the society. If we talk about more about the work education, it nurtures self-confidence and self-reliance in children. It establishes a relationship between hand and brain, and work education is based on the principle of learning by doing. Now, the main topic of today is planning and organization of work education. How the planning and organization of work education is done? It is divided into three parts. First, we will discuss about the grouping of students, then we will go for time allocation, and then we will go for allocation of place. So, we will discuss all these three one by one. First of all, if we talk about the grouping of students, we should know what is the grouping of students. Grouping of students means to make the groups of the student. Like we can make the group of 3 children, we can make the group of 4 children, then we can say it is the grouping of students. We should know what is the benefits of grouping of students. Before we come to know how the grouping is done, we should know the benefits. If we talk about the benefits of grouping of students, in this we can say there is positive environment of joy in grouping of students. The students feel very positive when they work in groups. It develops team spirit. A team spirit is developed when the students work in group. Display of teaching learning skill to each other. When the students work in the groups, they display teaching learning skill to one another. The other qualities which are developed in the work education or when they work in groups, these qualities can be cooperation, leadership, aptitude, sensitivity towards each other, love for nature, appreciation for beauty, dignity of labor, regularity and many other qualities which develop when the students work in groups. Now we should know how the grouping is done. We are doing the planning and organization of work education activities. So in this, the first point, grouping, how the grouping is done. Grouping is done on the basis of two manners. We can say some activities we can do the grouping class wise, and for some activities we can do the grouping like mixed group. If we talk about for some activities class wise, how class wise means like class 3, class 4, class 5, the activities are done class wise. And for some activities mixed group, in the mixed group we have children of different classes, they work together. For example, in the morning assembly, how we can do the grouping? In the morning assembly, we have so many activities to do, like there is morning prayer, thought for the day, or a pledge we can say. So how the grouping is done in this? We make the mixed group of co-education. There should be no separate group for physically challenged student, means they should also include in the team. They should not feel separate if we include them in the team. We should ensure them that they have also the role and responsibility for the activities to be done in the morning assembly. Or we can make the group of slow learners and brilliant students, means we can say there should be mixed group of slow learners and brilliant students. Or another point we can include in this, we should ensure the equal participation of each child in the group. And then after grouping them, we should listen to their decision and suggestions and then implement as per their need. So there would be a democratic environment in the group. So in this way, the grouping is done. Now we come to know. Now we are on the point that what are the factors which affect the grouping formation? There are so many factors which affect the group formation, like availability of space, sufficiency of resource and material and tools, etc., availability of time, arrangement of supervision and assessment, or we can say number of student. Means the group formation depends on all these factors. Another point we can include the nature of the activity and its purpose, or on the basis of interest, previous knowledge and entry behavior of the learner. So now we will talk about how to bring change in the group formation. We can change the formation of the groups as per our needs, but how we can bring the change? In the change we can say methodology. First point, if we will discuss under this, methodology of previous group. If we are not satisfied with the methodology of previous group, then we can change the group formation. The new circumstances. In case of the new circumstances, that does not, the previous circumstances do not suit us, so we can make the new, we can change the group formation. Or in this another point we can include change in the nature of activities. If there is change in the nature of activities, then we can change the formation of the group. Instead of the group of 3 or 4, we can make the group of 5, we can make the group of 6 children. So the change in the nature of activities also leads to the change in the group formation. Another point we can include in this, an effort for innovation. If we want to do something new, something innovative in the activities, then also we can change the formation of the group. Now we can say what is, we will talk about the time allocation. The first point we have done about the grouping of the students in the planning and organization of activities. Now the second point is time allocation. Time allocation, how the time is given to the activity, means what time or how much time we should give to the activity under work education. So it depends on 3 things: nature of the activity, objective of the activity, and expected result of the activity. Sometimes we have activities demonstration in the school, and students do that experience at their home or community. Now if we talk about the time allocation, so we can divide the activities in the parts of the year. For example, we can say, we can directly take the parts of the year, like if we start from the month of January, and we will go up to the month of December. First we will talk about the month of January and February. What kind of activities under work education we can take in this month? We can take the activity of information about the admission rule. In this, student can give information to parents about the admission rule. This activity we can put under the work education. Students can go to the houses of the parents to tell them about the admission rules. So in these 2 months we can do these activities. Now the next month, March and April, that is the time of admission. At this time, what we can do under work education, what the children can do under work education, they can give the instruction at the main gate of the school. At the time of admission, we have lot of parents, so students can stand there at the gate of at the main gate of the school and give the instructions related to admissions. Or we can say sitting arrangement for parents can be made by the students. Or what they can do other things. What other things means, they can help illiterate person to fill the admission forms. Illiterate person does not know how to fill the forms. So these students are students of the school, can help them to fill the form. Or drinking water facilities, students can provide them drinking water facilities. Now we come to the next month. Till April we have done. Now in the May and June, what they can do under work education? They can do the projects in home assignment. And in the assignment of projects, there can be collection of seeds, they can be making whistle with mango seed, drink made with mango, and the other one is no variety of mangoes. Why we are talking here about the mangoes? Because in this month, May and June, these 2 months are for mangoes fruit. So we can give the projects to them related to the mango, like making whistle from the mango seed, they can prepare that, and drink. They can learn about the drink made with the mango, or they can come to know about the variety of mangoes. So in these 2 months, these projects and home assignment can be given to the students. Now come to the next month. The next month is the month of July. What our students in the school can do in the month of July under work education? They can prepare one welcome function to the new entrants. Some students take admission in the month of July. So our students of the school, what they can do, they can do welcome function for those new entrants. They can do the work related to agriculture. They can do the storage of pulses, means we can make them learn the storage of pulses. This is the month of rainy season, so they should know how to store the pulses. Another thing we can include in this, the protection of clothes during rainy season. as I have already talked, this is the month of rainy season, so we can teach them how to protect your clothes during the rainy season. And one more thing, in this month of July we have the World Population Day. The World Population Day is on 11th of July. So what we can do, what our students can do under work education in this month, they can go for the awareness rally in the society, in the community, and they can write slogans. Means writing slogans can also be the activity for the month of July, or for the we can say World Population Day. Now in the next month, what we can do, the next month is August, month of August, and what activities can be done under work education. This is the month when the local and national festivals are celebrated in the month of August. So what the students can do under work education, they can make Rakhi. We have Rakhi festival and we have Independence Day. So what activities they can do? They can go for making Rakhi, flag making, and other cultural program can be done in this month in the work education. So if we talk about the next months are September, October, November and December. In these months, what the students can do under work education, the activities we can plan are celebration of festivals and cultural programs. As we know, in the month of these 4 months, September, October, November and December, we have season of Navratra, we have the Dussehra festival, we have festival of Diwali and Christmas festival. So the activities can be planned according to these festivals. Now the third point, we have already discussed about the 2 points under the planning and organization of activities under work education. We have done the grouping of students and we have done the time allocation. Now the third point under it is allocation of place. Allocation of place means when we are performing the activity, when children are performing the activity. So one thing, the place should be clear, at what place they will do the activity. And another thing, we can take students also at that place where the activities can be performed. So if we talk about the allocation of place, in this we can include at the primary, if we talk about the primary level, work education for primary level, what the work is only to observe the activities. The students only observe the activities and they do the environment studies. So the place of the work, what would be the place of the work? The place of the work will be the part of the locality where they will observe the activities. Now we should know what are the parts of locality where they can observe these activities. There can be so many parts of locality where we can take our children. Like these parts can be community water tap, working place of potter. We can see in the picture also, we can take the students to the working place of potter. Another one is working place of shoemaker, vegetable vendor, tailor shop, post office. We can take the children to the post office, banks, ration shop, community center, parks, field, garden, food preservation center. We can take them to the market and supermarket. So these were the places where we can take our children. Now the other one is allocation of place. Allocation of place, we were talking about the allocation of place. What points we should remember? What points we should remember while when we take our students to these places? So 3 points we should remember. The first is distance of working place from the school. The second is geographical and social condition. And the third point is number of students. We will talk about all these in detail one by one. First, we will talk about the distance of working place from the school. If we take our children to any place in the locality, what we should remember? We should remember the distance of working place. Means where we are taking our children, it should not be so far from the school. If we are taking the children so far, it will lead to the wastage of our time and energy. We should plan the activities for work education at nearby places. We should not go so far taking children there. And another one, second point we should remember is number of students. How many students we are taking for excursion? Or another point in this is, if we are taking them all alone, means it depends how many students we are taking for excursion. There should not be the number should not be too large and the number should not be too small. we can say. So there should be average number of students if we are taking the students for excursion, and if we are taking the students in large number for excursion, so we should have proper staff available with them or associated with them to do the activities, and we should not send the children alone for the excursion. As I already said, there should be proper staff to associate them, to assist them. The third point which we should remember in allocation of place is geographical and social condition. What is geographical and social condition? In geographical, we will discuss about these two in detail. First, we will talk about the geographical condition, then we will talk about the social conditions. At the time, we can say the geographical condition. In the geographical condition, we can say no visit we should make of students during the too hot season, during cold season, too cold season, and during rainy weather. It will be difficult for us, and it will be difficult for children to perform the activities in so hot and so cold and in rainy season. These are the geographical condition which we should remember when we are taking our students for the work education activities. If we talk about the social conditions, now what are the social conditions? In the social condition, we can say there should be no visit at special event. And what can be these special events? These special events can be the political rally. When there is political rally is going on, we should not take our students there for work education activities. When there is rites and when the religious celebration is going on, so we should not take our children to these places for work education activities. So these were the 3 points which we should remember while taking the students there. Thank you.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर। शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा और परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बहुत। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने,
घर बैठे पाएं राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय शिक्षा संस्थान यानी NIOS में एडमिशन, वो भी एकदम आसान तरीके से, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को होगी समय और धन दोनों की बचत। NIOS से शिक्षा कभी भी कहीं भी। शिक्षार्थियों, क्या आप जानते हैं NIOS में एडमिशन लेने का सरल और सुगम तरीका, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को ऑनलाइन प्रवेश लेने में सहूलियत मिलती है। NIOS में प्रवेश की प्रक्रिया पूर्णतया ऑनलाइन है। शिक्षार्थी घर बैठे इंटरनेट द्वारा प्रवेश के लिए सबसे पहले NIOS की वेबसाइट www.nios.ac.in पर लॉगिन करें। अपना ईमेल आईडी और पासवर्ड डालकर अपना पंजीकरण करें। पंजीकरण के बाद लॉगिन करने पर ऑनलाइन प्रवेश हेतु आवेदन पत्र खुलेगा। आवेदन पत्र को निर्देशानुसार भरें और प्रिंट आउट लें। इस प्रिंट आउट पर अपनी फोटो संलग्न करें। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश के लिए शुल्क हेतु भुगतान के तरीके हैं: क्रेडिट कार्ड के द्वारा, डेबिट कार्ड के द्वारा, राष्ट्रीयकृत बैंक के ड्राफ्ट के माध्यम से, जो कि सचिव NIOS नई दिल्ली या नोएडा के पक्ष में देय हो। भरे हुए आवेदन पत्र के साथ साथ डिमांड ड्राफ्ट और संलग्न किए जाने वाले दस्तावेज हैं: जन्म रजिस्ट्रार के जिला कार्यालय से जारी जन्म प्रमाण पत्र की सत्यापित प्रति, जिसमें जन्म तिथि अंकित हो, पिछले विद्यालय से प्राप्त विद्यालय छोड़ने का प्रमाण पत्र, जिसमें आवेदक की जन्म तिथि लिखी हो। प्रवेश फॉर्म का प्रिंट आउट NIOS के संबद्ध क्षेत्रीय केंद्रों पर 10 दिनों में पहुंच जाना चाहिए, अन्यथा उचित दस्तावेज न लगे होने पर आवेदन फॉर्म रद्द किया जा सकता है। प्रवेश प्रक्रिया की पुष्टि होने के बाद शिक्षार्थियों को परिचय पत्र व अध्ययन सामग्री डाक द्वारा तुरंत पहुंचाई जाती है। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश एक बहुत ही सुगम और सुविधाजनक प्रवेश प्रणाली है। ऑनलाइन ऑन टाइम फॉर सेफ एंड सिक्योर एडमिशन।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने हम, अपना जीवन स्वयं बने हम, अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर।
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा और परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर। दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बहुत,
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम, अपना जीवन स्वयं बने हम, अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम, स्वयं बने हम,
घर बैठे पाएं राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय शिक्षा संस्थान यानी NIOS में एडमिशन, वो भी एकदम आसान तरीके से, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को होगी समय और धन दोनों की बचत। NIOS से शिक्षा कभी भी कहीं भी। शिक्षार्थियों, क्या आप जानते हैं NIOS में एडमिशन लेने का सरल और सुगम तरीका, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को ऑनलाइन प्रवेश लेने में सहूलियत मिलती है। NIOS में प्रवेश की प्रक्रिया पूर्णतया ऑनलाइन है। शिक्षार्थी घर बैठे इंटरनेट द्वारा प्रवेश के लिए सबसे पहले NIOS की वेबसाइट www.nios.ac.in पर लॉगिन करें। अपना ईमेल आईडी और पासवर्ड डालकर अपना पंजीकरण करें। पंजीकरण के बाद लॉगिन करने पर ऑनलाइन प्रवेश हेतु आवेदन पत्र खुलेगा। आवेदन पत्र को निर्देशानुसार भरें और प्रिंट आउट लें। इस प्रिंट आउट पर अपनी फोटो संलग्न करें। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश के लिए शुल्क हेतु भुगतान के तरीके हैं: क्रेडिट कार्ड के द्वारा, डेबिट कार्ड के द्वारा, राष्ट्रीयकृत बैंक के ड्राफ्ट के माध्यम से, जो कि सचिव NIOS नई दिल्ली या नोएडा के पक्ष में देय हो। भरे हुए आवेदन पत्र के साथ साथ डिमांड ड्राफ्ट और संलग्न किए जाने वाले दस्तावेज हैं जन्म रजिस्ट्रार के जिला कार्यालय से जारी जन्म प्रमाण पत्र की सत्यापित प्रति, जिसमें जन्म तिथि अंकित हो, पिछले विद्यालय से प्राप्त विद्यालय छोड़ने का प्रमाण पत्र जिसमें आवेदक की जन्म तिथि लिखी हो। प्रवेश फॉर्म का प्रिंट आउट NIOS के संबद्ध क्षेत्र केंद्रों पर 10 दिनों में पहुंच जाना चाहिए, अन्यथा उचित दस्तावेज ना लगे होने पर आवेदन फॉर्म रद्द किया जा सकता है। प्रवेश प्रक्रिया की पुष्टि होने के बाद शिक्षार्थियों को परिचय पत्र व अध्ययन सामग्री डाक द्वारा तुरंत पहुंचाई जाती है। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश एक बहुत ही सुगम और सुविधाजनक प्रवेश प्रणाली है। ऑनलाइन ऑन टाइम फॉर सेफ एंड सिक्योर एडमिशन।